Hello everyone, welcome to the fourth lecture of The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry. Let's have a quick recap of lecture 2. In lecture 2, we had seen that it is Christmas time, it's celebration time in the Western countries. The story is set in New York, as I have told you earlier, America. And here we have Della, who is very sad as she doesn't have enough money. She has tried to save as much as possible, but it turned out to be only $1.87. So Della, helpless, she is sobbing, she is crying, lying down on a shabby little couch. There is a description given of the apartment which is used by Della and her husband Jim. It is a flat on rent which cost him $8 per week, which looks more like a hideout of beggars to the Mendicancy squad. There is a shabby couch where Della was lying down, flopping down and crying. Below at the vestibule, there was a doorbell which did not work, a letterbox which was too small and rusty, and a nameplate which was also not replaced for a long time, and hence the letters appeared to be vanishing, suggesting that Jim and Della, they were very poor. They were a poor couple and they were in a state of poverty. But whatever it is, they were poor, right? But then they were happy. And the reason is that both were devoted to one another, both loved one another so much that the warmth of their love kept everything at bay, kept all the sadness of the world at bay. Now let us come to the next part, the explanation of the next part of the story. So in the earlier part, you have seen that Della, she was crying because she didn't have the money. Now let us see what happens. Della finished her cry and attended to her cheeks with the powder rag. She stood by the window and looked out dully at a grey cat walking a grey fence in a grey backyard. Does something strike you here? Yes, of course, the repetition of the word grey. Now, in literature, grey has been associated with, a balanced state, neither black nor white. So this also projects the character's mood and state, the emotional condition, right? There are two significance in these words, or in these terms rather. Grey cat walking a grey fence in a grey backyard. One is literal significance, the other one is metaphorical. Now looking at it from the literal point of view, since it was evening time, everything, the background, the things in it, the cat and the finch, everything appeared to be dull and grey. Okay, that is the literal meaning. But most importantly, the description metaphorically mirrors, or it projects, Della's emotional state. Okay, how she was feeling right at that moment, her sadness, her gloom, her misery, that has been projected through the reference to this color, grey. Okay, G-R-A-Y, it's the archaic form of G-R-E-Y, right? Okay, let's see next. Tomorrow would be Christmas and she had only $1.87 with which to buy Jim a present. She had been saving every penny she could for months with this result. $20 a week doesn't go far. Remember Jim's salary, it has been reduced to $20 only. Earlier it was $30 per week, but now he is earning only a meager $20 per week, which is too less for a couple to run on. Okay. Expenses had been greater than she had calculated. They always are. Only $1.87 to buy a present for Jim. Expenses had been greater. Okay, so Della had been calculating. She had been very calculative, and she had planned properly how she would be spending. Remember how hard she bargained over the prices, and she would be saving every single money. Sometimes she was also ashamed of her being so miser about spending money. But then, yes, she was doing it, and her intention was only one. She had to buy her husband something worthy during the Christmas. But then it didn't work out, and expenses proved to be greater than her expectation. Okay. Many a happy hour she had spent planning for something nice for him, something fine and rare and sterling, something just a little bit near to being worthy of the honor of being owned by Jim. That shows how much she esteemed her Jim. Jim is priceless for Della. That is why his gift, though it could never be equal in comparison to him, it must be something very close to his value. Okay, so fine, rare, and sterling, that means it must be something that is pure, unalloyed, and hence valuable. Value means on both level, it must be something that is in equal to Jim's value as well as expensive, right? In a way, or rather in other words, what she is trying to say is that the gift that she would buy, it must be worthy enough to be used by her Jim. Okay. Now here I have shown you the image of a grey cat walking a grey fence in a grey backyard. Now grey is very symbolic. As I have told you, it is used as a metaphor for gloom, dejection, and hopelessness. The hopelessness that Della is in right at that moment. Coming to the next paragraph. There was a pyreglass. Pyreglass means a long longitudinal striped glass, okay, between the windows of the room. Generally, the pyreglass, it is a very narrow, filmed and thin and long and slender glass which is used to cover up the space between two windows. So in Della's flat, or in Della and Jim's flat, they also had a pyreglass. They did not have any extra mirror. Okay, again reflecting on the poverty or the poor condition of the couple. Perhaps you have seen a pyreglass in an $8 flat. A very thin and a very agile person may, by observing his reflection in a rapid sequence of longitudinal stripes, obtain a fairly accurate conception of his looks. That means here the author is addressing to the readers and telling us that you might have seen what a pyreglass is. That time, during those times in UK, very poorly furnished flats, or rather flats which did not cost much, they used to place a pyreglass between two windows, which would also serve as a looking mirror. Okay, so if you have seen, you can understand how difficult it is to look at one's own reflection in that kind of a mirror. Fat people stand no chance to observe themselves, but then very thin, agile, you know, and slender people or slender person only can have a chance of looking at himself. Now, Della, being slender, had mastered the art. Della, from this we also come to know, we have a for the first time, we have an idea of a physical appearance. She is a thin, slender, young lady, okay, and agile too. From the description, it can be understood. And having stayed in that flat for a long time, she had already uh, learned the technique of looking at that pyre glass, how to make an idea of herself, right? Suddenly, she whirled from the window and stood before the glass. All this time, Della had been thinking, and thinking. That is why I told you the color grey, it is very, very important, very, very symbolic. It doesn't mean totally black or totally white. It is just in the middle. Della is sad, Della is dejected, but then she is working it out. She is determined to find a solution to the problem. That's why suddenly she whirled. Whirled means quickly turned from the window and stood before the glass. Her eyes were shining brilliantly. Eyes shining brilliantly. It suggests positivity. Something, a kind of idea might have struck her. And that is why suddenly she, moves away from the window and stands just before the mirror. That is that pyre glass. But her face had lost its color within 20 seconds. Rapidly, she pulled down her hair and let it fall to its full length. Okay, her eyes were shining, but then just after 20 seconds, see the moodiness or the change of mood of Della. She is positive. Next second, she becomes very pensive and sad and morose. This is why the use of the color grey. Okay. Now she pulls down her hair and let it fall to its full length. It was she was the owner of a very beautiful hair or tresses, and it was knee length. Very, very beautiful hair. Now, there were two possessions of the James Dillingham Youngs in which they both took a mighty pride. Two possessions. Possessions means treasure, something that is precious and valuable. Now, what are these two possessions? One was Jim's gold watch. It was a pocket watch, okay, that had been his father's and his grandfather's. The other was Della's hair. So these two were the possessions that the author is talking about. Jim had the pocket watch, which was an antique, it was an antique, you can call it family heirloom, something that is passed on from generation downwards, one generation passing it over to the next generation. Okay, hence it was precious. And the other asset is Della's beautiful, lovely and lavish hair. Had the Queen of Sheba lived in the flat across the air shaft, Della would have let her hair hang out the window someday to dry, just to depreciate Her Majesty's jewels and gifts. So from this we can understand that Della, she was very proud. She was quite boastful about her hair. She knew that she was the owner of beautiful hair, something that can be compared with the riches of Queen of Sheba. I suppose you remember my first lecture where I have discussed elaborately on who was Queen of Sheba. So she was the owner of a mighty kingdom, and she had huge storage of riches, jewels. Okay, so she was very, very rich. But Della, she was so proud about her hair, very confident about her hair indeed, that she felt that she might stand a comparison with Queen of Sheba's riches, and she feels that her hair might undo the value of the riches of the queen. So precious her hair was. Depreciate means degrade or decrease in value. Queen of Sheba's valuable riches would be valueless in front of Della's beautiful hair. Okay, so that is why Della considered it to be her possession. Now, secondly, had King Solomon been the janitor means the caretaker, with all his treasures piled up in the basement. Basement is the ground floor where, or rather it can be called a storehouse. Suppose King Solomon again, I had referred to King Solomon earlier. Please check that lecture if you haven't gone through it. Okay, lecture 1 that was. So King Solomon, who was also the owner of huge riches, if he was the caretaker of Jim and Della's flat, and if he had piled up all his riches in the basement, Jim would have pulled out his watch every time he passed, just to see him pluck at it bare from envy. He feels Jim is so confident about his pocket watch, about the dignity of that pocket watch, that he felt that even King Solomon would be ashamed and he would be envious. Okay, that is why here he is comparing the value of his pocket watch with the value of King Solomon's riches. So valuable an asset it was. At least, if not to the world, at least for Della and Jim, their two valuable possessions were incomparable. Right? So it was precious to both of them. One is Jim's pocket watch, the second one is Della's beautiful hair. This is a picture of King Solomon and Queen of Sheba. Now let's come to the next para. So now Della's beautiful hair fell about her, rippling and shining just like water, ripples, waves. Okay, it was wavy and shiny like a cascade of brown waters. This is an example of simile. You can notice that Henry, he is making use of numerous poetic devices. Poetic rather than poetic, we should call them literary devices. So this is what adds to the richness of his writings. Okay, so he is comparing the beautiful hair of Della to a cascade of brown waters. We understand that this is a simile because the word like has been used. Now what is a cascade? A cascade is a waterfall or a fountain. Okay, so Della's brown beautiful hair, it was quite similar to the waterfall of brown waters. Why it is called brown waters? Water is generally colorless, but the hair, Della's hair, it was brown in color. So brown color, which was full length, it came down rippling, shining, just like the waters of a waterfall. So see how beautifully the author has tried to create an image. Okay, we can see through these words the beauty of Della's brown hair. It reached below her knee and made itself almost a garment for her. Okay, it was so long and so thick that a garment, she didn't need any kind of dress. It covered up her whole body. It was so thick, dense, and brown and long in texture. And then she did it up again nervously. Did it up means she tied her hair back into a bun quite nervously and quickly. Once she faltered for a minute. Falter means to move hesitatingly. Did not want to move, still she moved. Okay, that kind of a condition. And stood still while a tear or two splashed on the worn red carpet. Please mark these terms, okay? Everything that describes the house. The worn red carpet, very old, almost torn red carpet. What is happening is that Della, she has an idea and she is, determined to carry out the idea, but she falters for a second. She hesitates because, and what stops her? Her tears that drops down her eyes. Okay. But yes, only once she faltered, but then she did not stop. Next. On went her old brown jacket. On went her old brown hat. She has no new clothes, even for the Christmas time. She was still in her old jacket, which was brown in color. It has grown brown, colorless, that means. Okay, the color has faded. So, old brown jacket and her old brown hat. She was wearing these two. With a whirl of skirts means a rapid turn. She turned quickly, rapidly, and her skirt it whirled. And with the brilliant sparkle still in her eyes, brilliant sparkle means there is an idea, there is a hint of, there is a ray of positivity in her eyes. She has hope. So, hope still in her eyes, she fluttered out the door and down the streets, down the stairs to the street. She fluttered almost like a butterfly. So quickly she rushed out of the house. It seemed that she was a butterfly, and what did she do? She moved out of the doors, came down the stairs, and rushed into the street. So she is somewhat determined to, carry out her idea. She has an idea. What is the idea? We don't know. That we will come to know in the next class. I suppose you have understood this much. Thank you very much for watching. And please make sure you watch this video thoroughly. In case you don't understand, please comment on the comment section that is given below. And you might like or you might dislike. Please show your likes and dislikes so that I can make out how much you have understood. And in case you dislike, also make sure that you point out the reason why you dislike so that it can be made up in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.